Shabbat Shalom to the hopefully elect of Yasharallah, Israel, also called Blacks and Americans and Latinos. Before we get started today, I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and the apostles of Great Millstone, likewise brothers putting on this truth, faithfully fantasy feeding the sheep, and to you brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson's titled, The Two-Thirds and Esau, a Contrast of Fate. And in this lesson today, we're going to look at the fate of the two-thirds of Yasharallah, also called Blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, and the fate of Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white race. Let's go into the characteristic of evil. This is the book of Hebrews 12, and Psalm verse 16. It reads, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears." And the Lord is describing a tribe of individuals that neither value righteousness or the gift of life. They are profane. Likewise, when you go into Isaiah 1 and Psalm verse 4, this is what the Lord speaks about the children of Israel, particularly the two-thirds. A sinful nation, Psalm verse 4, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Why should you be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. So we can see the characteristic of both Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white race, and the two-thirds of Yasharallah have similar characteristics. They both offend the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now we're going to see how this digresses further, because when you are not close to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, it will lead to death. Let's look at the entitlement of the wicked. This is the book of Isaiah 19 and Psalm verse 14. And it reads, "The Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. And they have caused Egypt," which this place is known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So this is talking about the Egyptians, "to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemashai, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah," talking about the Hebrew Israelites, the two-thirds, "shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemashai, which he had determined against it." So what we've seen here is when all the work is gone because of the decision making of the Edomites, and the two-thirds of Yasharallah has trusted in Egypt, they are going to respond, as beasts, because they have an entitlement mentality. This is what Egypt has created in the minds of our people, because as mentioned in Isaiah 1 and verse 5, it reads, "Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint." They trust in Egypt and not in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So they are going to act out very violently, and this is going to be initially very terrifying for the Egyptians or the Edomites, because their comfort, their safety is going to be at risk because of the purge that Jacob initially will be doing when Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, could no longer provide them with entertainment or substance, because the Lord has brought this place down. Likewise, when you go into 2nd Esdras 16 and verse 68, we will see here that Esau will also bring terror onto the two-thirds. And this is that judgment. This is that fate. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot, which we know, despite the fact that the Edomites are going to be coming, against Yasharallah, there's still going to be the two-thirds that's going to look to try to surrender, to pacify their anger. However, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. You see, in reality, because we are the children of the Most High Yahweh Shemel Shai, we have a natural fear. Now, currently, the two-thirds are sick. They're worshiping the God of this earth, which is Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. So, they don't see the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, who is our God, as a means to turn to for help. It says, they should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So you can see the two-thirds will be getting this judgment. Okay, now we can go into other scriptures that talk about the protection of the one-third elect of Yasharallah. But this is about the contrast of the fate of the wicked of our people and the wicked, which is Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white race. So they are both going to terrorize each other. The Lord has set it up to where they are both going to terrorize each other. Isaiah 19, starting with verse 14 to 17, speaks about that terror that the two-thirds will bring upon Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white race, because they no longer can provide entertainment or subsistence for them anymore. Likewise, the Edomites will retaliate against the two-thirds because they have been given the ability to do that by the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. So you can see that there's going to be a great terror pursuing the 2nd Esdras 16, starting with 68 to 71. Let's look at the unchangeable rebellion, because both the two-thirds of Yasharallah, also called Blacks, Americans, and Latinos, are rebellious. And Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white race, they are also rebellious. Let's go to Isaiah 19, verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Now here's what they do. And I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. They're not seeking Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, who created everything. They're seeking to their own gods. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So they're rebellious. They're not going to get on their knees and bow down or change their wickedness to serve the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, or even acknowledge his existence. They're turning to rocks and stones and gold and idols, that technology, for answers. We can see likewise when we go into Proverbs 1 and start verse 24, we can see this rebellion amongst our people, the two-thirds of Yasharala, the so-called blacks and Americans and Latino. And it reads, because I have called and ye refuse, I stretch out my hand and no man regarded, but ye have sought at not all my counsel and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, when your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. So when you go into Isaiah 19, start verse 1 to verse 3, you can see here the Egyptians, they're fighting amongst each other, and they seek their idols. They don't seek the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. So they're going through hell, because the Lord is bringing hell on them, which includes them fighting amongst themselves. Likewise, with the two-thirds, we can see that they are going to be fighting amongst themselves, but they also are going to be fighting to survive against Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white race, and these other tribes that have joined with the Edomites. And it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be very devastating and very fast. It's described as calamity. But they, at this point in time, will try to call upon the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. But he won't answer them. Much in like the Edomites, their idols cannot save them, and their idols don't answer them because they can't. But the true living power, Yahweh Shemashai, he hears them, but instead of helping them, he mocks them. So he does not answer them. And that is, you see, with the unchangeable rebellion of both of them. Let's go and take a look at death by pain and suffering. This is the book of Zechariah 13, down verse 8, and reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but a third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire and refine them as silver is refined. I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is my power. Now when we go at verse 8, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, 2 parts therein should be cut off and die, but a third should be left therein. So the Lord is going to destroy our people, 2/3. Their fate is for destruction in this time. Okay, through various forms of death. You know, beasts, pestilence, famine, and or the lake of fire. But they will die in this time, and 1/3 will be saved. Now those 1/3 do have a purpose, a special mission. This is Jeremiah 16:16. It reads, for behold, I will send many fishes, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill out of the holes of the rock. Now, you can see that there's a special purpose for the 1/3 that's going to be saved, because not all of the Edomites are going to perish. They're not all going to perish like the 2/3. They have a fate that continues on into the heavenly kingdom. But this Edomites, they will suffer the suffering from the beasts of the field, famine, pestilence, and lake of fire. However, there's the first fruit of slavery, which are going to be the elites, the ones that the Lord right now have hiding underground in those bunkers, the ones that are preparing themselves to hide from the face of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai when he comes to judge this world. And this is why Jeremiah 16:16 speaks about the fact that select men from the 1/3, 144,000, the 1/3, are going to return in glorious form to hunt them and put them into slavery. Now let's take a look at the Edomites, because this is their inevitable fate. This is the book of Obadiah 1 and verse 17, and it reads, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions." Talking about these Edomites. "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble," which is the white race, so-called white race. "And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall be not any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Shemashai had spoken it." So the Esau is going to suffer slavery, because they're going to be those that do survive. We don't know if it's going to be 1/3 of them, like how it is for 1/3 of Yasharallah. We don't know that number. But they will be taken out of their hiding places and put into slavery for 1,000 years, and they will regenerate the rest of their tribes that suffered, through pestilence, famine, and the lake of fire and sword, so that they can get their judgment in the kingdom, and then they all would be put to death. And just like Esau would regenerate, so will the 2/3 would regenerate into the kingdom, where they would be ashamed of the fact that they didn't stand up for holiness and righteousness. So this lesson has been the 2/3 and Esau, a contrast of fate. Lord willing, the elect was edified. Let the close by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kakatash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone. Likewise, brothers, putting on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep, and to you, brothers and sisters, tuning in. Shalom.